Hello everyone, my name is Wiktor. If you're new to this channel, if you're not, welcome back. If you've seen my last video, which is also now my channel intro, you would have seen that I spoke a little bit about my van that I bought in October 2022, which is actually a big premise of what this channel is going to be about. So obviously the van conversion from a normal van to a camper van. So I thought I would create a video around the van project to give you a bit more information as to what I bought in terms of the base of the van, what I'm planning to do with it, and where I am with it at the moment. So without further ado, let's just get straight into it. So firstly, what did I buy? So it's a 2014 Mercedes Sprinter medium wheelbase, and it had about 120,000 on the clock. In terms of what it had inside of it, so in the loading area, it had some shelving units, a industrial vise, and the company that I bought it from used to use it for sort of installation projects. I thought the next thing that would be worth going through is what I actually intend to use it for, what I want to do with it. So firstly, I actually didn't have a good idea as to what I want to do inside of it until fairly recently. I knew that I obviously want to turn it into a camper, that I want to be able to drive around and sleep in it, that sort of stuff. But I had no idea in terms of the layout. I have no idea in terms of how long I want to be able to use it for at one time. And I've only recently actually come to a realization or accepted what I want it for. And the idea behind it is to be able to have some kind of a home on wheels, obviously, it's a camper, where I'm able to be off grid for weeks at a time. Obviously, water is a bit of a more difficult thing, so let's not count that. I'm talking about electricity, that sort of stuff, and be able to also work remotely. Because as you know, I run a business. As long as I have connection to the internet, so you can kind of cross off the off-grid stuff off the list, but as long as I have connection to the internet, then I'm able to work anywhere. So I can go travel, connect to the internet, that could be sort of through 5G, 4G, whatever, and then be able to actually still travel and work remotely. So I want a space that allows me to do that. I want a space that allows me to obviously sleep comfortably. And one non-negotiable for me for this van is for it to be a space that I actually love being in. I think anyone building such a project, whether that's an actual camper van or their own home, wants to obviously feel great inside of this space. Now, some of the features that I want it to have is a single bed that turns into a double. It will be a convertible bed effectively. When you convert the bed or push it in, what that will reveal is seating area with a table. So that's where you can eat, that's where you can work if you need to, that sort of stuff. And then I want it to have a fixed desk as well for work with some screens. Now I know that the screens, obviously they're gonna be sort of energy efficient, low profile screens, but they will allow me to be able to actually work as I go, and I won't have to change that space and constantly take my laptop out and set things up. I'll be able to actually just go right into work when I need to. I did think about having the cabin area open right into the loading area and not separating it, and that was the idea behind it initially. And then what I could do in that case is to use the seats in the cabin, spin them around, and then actually use them inside of the living area as well. I decided against it in the end. The reason is I want to sort of separate the area a little bit. I also want to be able to retain as much heat as possible in case of obviously lower temperatures or going to a country that has lower temperatures, and that sort of load area being separated means that I'll be able to do so. Another thing that I thought was a non-negotiable as well, and I still think so, is for me to have a shower area. I know it's going to be a bit difficult with a medium wheelbase. It's about a meter less than a long wheelbase, so it's quite some space, but I think I'm able to do it, so we will see. I want to have a shower. It doesn't have to be super luxurious, as long as I'm able to take a shower for a couple minutes and just be, you know, washed and clean, that's all good. Now, last but not least, what have I done so far? Just to give you a bit of a background regarding this, I bought a van in October 2022. I basically started recording some footage with my phone. I didn't really have an idea as to how I want to put these videos together, what I want to do with my channel. So I was just kind of recording as I go along. So I have a bunch of different clips that I'm gonna interlay into this video while I talk and just give you an idea as to what I've done so far, so we can kind of hit the ground running from the next video onwards with picking up from where I effectively left it. So effectively the first thing that I did when I got the van was I took out all the walls around, so all the plywood, etc., to expose the metal so I could actually start working on it. I took out the cabinet that there was inside. There was also an industrial vise inside, which took a bit of work to get out. So I had to firstly enlist my dad to help me and had to use a Dremel tool to cut through the bolts because they were all rusty, they weren't really moving. It was bolted to the floor and then got completely rid of it. I took out the bulkhead, the separator between the cabinet and the loading area. There was a roof rack on the top of the van, which there actually still is. I took that off, tried to repaint it, put it back on, and realized that I actually can't use that roof rack because I have to put a roof fan in, and with this roof rack it's just not gonna work. So I tried to find different ways around it and just realized I just have to basically custom make my own roof rack, which I'll do. It's not gonna be anything super special, but it's gonna work for the purpose I need it. So in essence, I shouldn't have put that roof rack back on. I also put some noise insulation in. There are these like rubber noise cancellation mats that you just stick onto the metal bit of the van, the loading area. And I basically did that as well. So now it's a bit more soundproof, a bit more of a dead sound when you sort of knock on it. I put a reversing camera in because it didn't have that at all. And now I can actually see where I'm reversing. And I think most importantly, something I should have done straight away because my van got broken into. Yeah, that's the perk of living in London. I think that's probably the perk of just owning a van in any country or city. As soon as that happened, I put extra locks in. So I'm not going to talk too much about what kind of locks they are, but they are good locks. They will keep my van safer. I've still got a lot more on the security side of things I want to do to it and stuff that I already done. Again, I'm not going to talk too much about it. However, it's a lot safer now, and I recommend for anyone getting a van and wanting to turn it into a camper or just owning a van in general, get those locks fitted in as soon as possible on all the doors, because goddamn, it's such a bother when some idiots just break into your van, and especially when you have nothing inside. It's just like, what is the point? I had a hole on the side of the door, on the sliding door, because that's where the locking mechanism is. It's easy to pick. And also I had to put a metal plate over that hole. Obviously I didn't do it myself. I hired a company, Van Secure, and I'll link in the description below if you wish to use them. Not affiliated at all. However, they did a great job, so I recommend them highly. In essence, that's really all I did so far, and this is kind of where the work starts. So the next thing I want to be doing with the van is to put a window in on the sliding door, so I have a bit more ventilation, a bit more light coming in. A roof fan, so a max air fan that obviously provides a lot more ventilation, allows you to have air coming in, allows you to extract the air as well. And last but not least, obviously the roof rack. I want to take the current one out, put my own solution in that I actually found on YouTube, and I can link that below as well if you want to watch that video, because it's an amazing video. So these are the 3 next steps that I'm going to be taking with the van. From that point onwards, I'm going to be working on things like the insulation, putting solar panels in, the electrics. So I hope you actually enjoyed this video, giving you a bit of an overview, putting some more clips in to show you what the van actually looks like. And I really hope that you continue to watch these videos. If you have enjoyed it, please leave a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, I would really highly appreciate it. And if you've got any suggestions for any channels that I should check out in terms of the van build, or anything I should actually work on first before starting work on other things, please leave a comment below. I really appreciate this. Thank you for watching. Peace and love.